Hello, this is Torrin at Connect the Political Dots. Last night, the Utah and Arizona primaries were held. The results were almost to be expected. I mean, they were predicted. Donald Trump won Arizona. Ted Cruz won Utah. Donald Trump picked up 58 delegates. Ted Cruz picked up 40 delegates. And there was I think there was a 15-way tie between John Kasich and the rest of the field. John Kasich didn't win any delegates last night. As a matter of fact, Ted Cruz had more votes in Utah than John Kasich had in Utah and Arizona. Donald Trump had a lot of votes too. More votes than Ted Cruz by a bunch. But here's the funny thing. Okay. The funny thing is, when the general election hits, Ted Cruz is the nominee, he wins Arizona, and he wins Utah. Donald Trump, not so much. Donald Trump loses Utah in the general election. Now you need to think about that for a second. Donald Trump, who's winning all these massive votes in these open primaries, now granted, Arizona is a closed primary. But Donald Trump won so much in early voting that it was literally impossible for Ted Cruz to catch him. Ted Cruz actually, I believe, beat him on ballot, on election day, as far as votes were concerned. But almost more than half of the people that voted in early voting. So like 30 days of early voting. So what happens in a primary becomes almost irrelevant by the time you get to the actual election day in Arizona. Kind of crazy. 30 days of early voting, Donald Trump wins. And he wins big. Congratulations to Trump and all of his Trump people. So from this point forward, we'd have to figure out what happens. I kind of sort of like the fact that Marco Rubio beat John Kasich in Arizona. I find it hilarious that a man that's dropped out beat the man that claims he's going to go all the way to the convention and win the nomination. John Kasich, you're becoming more and more irrelevant. I have called you McFly because you remind me of the McFlys back in the 50s that would never amount to anything. It was a joke because you just reminded me of them, but now you're starting to actually be. Marty's not coming back to make you a more successful person. There is no DeLorean that's going to save you here. For your own sake, you should drop out. I don't care if you do or not. I love the fact that your irrelevance is showing. I love the fact that what's happening with Mitt Romney and the GOP is failing so dismally. Last night was a perfect illustration of it. Remember this, though. In the general election, Donald Trump loses to Hillary Clinton in every single poll since February 15th. Got to think about that. Ted Cruz doesn't. He actually beats her. So, Republican primary voters, vote Ted Cruz.